No matter how high-tech, highfalutin, lazy, or foo-foo America gets, we will never stop hunting and fishing. This is the Hunting Quest. We take 1 hour of every week and talk about our favorite things in the world, hunting and fishing. You'll get tips and help on the fishing environment locally in the DMV area. Plus, we're going to have fun along the way. This is the Hunting Quest. And now your host, Mike Tippin and Bennett Malin.
Woo! I don't know if y'all heard me start the intro twice, but the first time I started it, I didn't have the soundboard to where I could hear the audio coming from that. So I stopped it, started it again, and I was like, what the hell is going on with this thing? So I turned the volume up more. I'm like, damn, dude, I still can't hear it. And I was like, oh, I need to hit that button. Smacked it. Dude, I just blew my eardrums out. So I'm going to be half deaf for this entire episode, but we'll be all right.
It's okay. Just means you won't hear tomorrow when we're duck hunting either, so.
Hey, that's fine. I'm not going to be able to hear anyway. You and Doug are blowing my eardrums out. We'll be all right.
Okay.
That's the guide life. It's fine.
Yep. There you go.
So
there you
another
go.
Friday. Mike, how you doing?
Man, if I was any better, there'd be two of me.
Oh, that's good, I guess. I don't know if the world can handle two of you.
God, no.
That'd be bad news for everybody.
Yeah, no. It's been a good week. We got to take off a couple of weeks, kind of rejuvenate, refresh, but now we're back at it, and I'm really, really excited for this guest.
Yeah, I say tonight we have Ed the Diver and Silent J. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, guys. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? What the hell?
Little technical difficulties there.
What in the heck is going on here?
I don't know, but you died off.
Dude, I know. I've just got a black screen on my end.
Well, we're still here. So
say, everyone's still here.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the hell is happening.
That's okay.
Are we still alive?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyway. So even if we're not, you got it recorded. So, but fellas, thanks for coming on the podcast. I look forward to all of all of these different podcasts. But and I've been kind of following you for a while, and Silent J, you all do some pretty impressive stuff. And what I mean by that is, obviously I'm a diver. I used to be an instructor, and I kind of came across your page one day, and I saw you kind of picking up and cleaning up stuff, and I'm like, what's this guy about? and ever since then, it was kind of got hooked. So I wanted to reach out to you and see, and you all were gracious enough to come on. So first, thanks for coming on. But secondly, you got to tell me, how did this whole thing, how did you get into the idea of, hey, I'm going to go out and clean up?
Well, I think a lot of guys that fish, they have the idea once they lose their lure, and I've heard it from many other fishermen say, I'm going to go back in there when it warms up. I'm going to grab my lures. But I was taking my kids fishing, kind of how it started, taking the kids fishing. I was losing my lures. They are losing my lures. Pretty soon you look back at your tackle box, tackle tray, nothing left in there really. So it's like, I finally did it. Like, I love to swim. I love to get in the water and explore, but just got a cheap mask. As soon as it warmed up, got a cheap mask, got in the water, started grabbing a couple lures, and then it just kind of kept snowballing, get more and more lures, filling up a boogie board, and putting a basket on it, collecting trash, and then I got scuba certified and just blew up after that.
So, and Jay, you do this with him. How did he rope you into this?
It was I was doing the same thing after I seen him do it. I decided me and my son would just put a regular mask on and just dive under the water, and he said it'd be much safer if you got a tank and got scuba certified. That way if you get stuck on the bottom or you get hooks in your fingers, you're not going to get stuck down there, and you won't drown. You'll have more time to free yourself. So he kind of talked me into it, and so me and my son both got certified at the same time too.
Awesome. How old's your son?
My son is 16.
Awesome. Good deal. Good deal.
And they pretty much paid off all their gear just from selling lures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy that y'all find that many. I mean, how do you? I don't want you to give away trade secrets or nothing, but like, you just grab a bank and swim along the bank and start finding them, or do you go after like specific areas or?
No, wherever. Okay, well, up here there's walleye run. So the Menominee River, Fox River, the Wolf River. There's so many rivers coming out of the bay that those walleye are coming up to the first dam. So there's guys congregated shoulder to shoulder on those first dams. There's boats everywhere. So anywhere there's logs, rocks, any kind of structure, they're going to lose lures. And what's hard for other scuba divers to believe that dive saltwater all the time, they see me pulling all these fresh lures out from the walleye run, and they're like, no, this is fake. It's all staged. There's no way a hook will be on there still. They don't understand when I'm diving, the water's still 33, 36 degrees. The flowing, it's fresh water, so all those hooks are staying clean. They're staying fresh still. And it's just, I had to try to persuade so many other divers, and it's kind of frustrating. But it's like that's how it is up here. And they've seen me pull out a big pile, but I'm actually most of the time just throwing them in a basket, a couple at a time. You get a line, you're throwing in there, and then you all mix together with a line and lures. And they come out as one big ball in the end.
So I guess we should have prefaced this conversation with, you're in, where are you located? What state are you located in?
Right on the border of Marinette, Wisconsin, and Menominee, Michigan. There's a river that separates us. So you've got the two towns, two kind of like 10,000, 11,000 towns, cities. So, yeah, and then we got a lot of people that come out up here to work at Marinette Marine. So it's a lot of people up here from all over the U.S., and they love to fish. And
they come from everywhere to fish the Menominee River during the walleye run.
Yep.
You get people from Illinois, Milwaukee,
Minnesota,
different places. They just come here to fish.
So what you're saying is it's freaking cold there.
Yeah, I got Raynaud syndrome in my hands and my feet, and
no way.
I hate ice fishing now, but I can still get in the water with my gear on. You know, my hands are frozen within 5 minutes. They're numb. My feet are staying there for 45 minutes, an hour, and I'll do my thing, and then just get out, and hopefully after an hour or two, my hands won't be white anymore.
I said that was going to be my next question. Is there a way to stay warm, or doesn't sound like it?
Thicker gear.
Really have thick. We wear suits though. Dry suits will keep you dry. You wear like sweatpants and sweaters underneath them, but I still do wetsuits. So you thicker wetsuit, the water will slowly soak in. It'll hit your skin. You can feel it. Then you just endure it, and then it kind of starts to warm it up back up, and then you just get back to work, swim in the current. I wear 20 extra pounds of lead in the springtime to keep me down in the current. And then so you're constantly kicking, you're grabbing, you're pulling, you're going up and down, and your body stays warm, but your extremities don't.
So you're a wetsuit diver, Jay. Are you a dry suit guy?
No, I'm a wetsuit.
You too, both of you.
No.
No. No.
I went out, so.
That's how you beat the competition, because there's more and more people doing it now. They see what I'm doing on my channels, and they want to get in on it, but they don't in so early. Out there February 16th in the Fox River, just an hour south of here. The water's flowing from the south coming into the bay, and I got in there February 16th and started hammering the lures.
That's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. I'm gonna be honest. That sounds freezing.
I've dove in some cold water, and I've honestly, you know, it has its perks, right? There's a level of clarity and all that other stuff, but you know what, fellas, I'm not. That's not for me. I will take a nice warm, you know, 76, 86 degree water, you know, in Pensacola Beach or wherever. No, I'm not doing that. So.
Fort Pickens dive around there?
Absolutely. That's my very first training dive ever was Fort Pickens. So
yeah.
50, 55 degree and hot, warmer water, then I'll go without a wetsuit.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, we were just in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm like, dude, you want to wear a hood? I got gloves for you. No, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, he lasted, and then we found a bunch of trash and old bottles and stuff, and seen a lot of walleye underwater, so it's pretty cool.
Man, that's too cool. So, like your typical dives, like you get out there, obviously you find your spots that you're going to dive, and and we kind of talked a little bit about this beforehand, but you get your spots and you're going to go, was the idea first to get out there and start cleaning stuff up, or was it, more of a, hey, I'm getting my lures back, damn it. So,
yeah, that was the first idea was get my lures back.
Yeah.
But after starting to go underwater, and seeing more and more trash, like old cans, plastic, bottles, glass, I'm like, hey man, I gotta figure out how to pick this up too. Cause like when I started, it was just a flat boogie board. I'd hook all the lures up there, stack them up so they wouldn't fall off. But then I was like, well, where do I put the trash? So then I put a basket on my board, and then I could throw the lures in there and the trash. And then I graduated to a kayak where I could just load bicycles, tires, signs, all kinds of stuff in there. And it just accelerated from there.
Man.
Anchors.
Crazy.
27 anchors in one dive last year.
Whoa.
Wow. Holy
Whoa.
smokes.
And on them, so everybody's snag or rope. So when the rope it gets hooked, they can't lift the anchor up because it's stuck under a rock and it's stuck down there. So then it's just a bad cycle.
Yeah. Well, bad for somebody, not for you though.
No, I got 105 acres in the backyard right now.
Oh man. So you decide, all right, you're going to get into this, and I follow you. I think I said that before, but you put out some really good content, but you're unique in the sense that you're going back and you're both of you, I've seen the videos where you're untangling stuff, and you're getting getting this out, getting that out, and but how did the idea come about to, well, now that you've collected these things, you started selling them, right? And you've made a pretty good success off of this.
During the summer, it's pretty slow. During the springtime, for about 4 or 5 month period, like from now, people start ordering across the U.S. for all their fishing and things going on, and then it'll kind of die off by beginning of April. So then we turn to bottles, frisbee golf discs, and we're still collecting lures and picking up trash. But there's more markets that we just found this year. So
yeah,
underwater salvage.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we could have for a different day for sure. But that's where I was going to go is, I've seen some of your stuff now. You've kind of ventured out of that. Both of you have gotten into, I think, both of you have gotten into, more doing, or at least finding cell phones and car keys and, things like that. Was that the original plan, or is this just,
that turned into, like, it started out with the lures, and I started a business. I was working full time still. I was a electrician, underground utility operator and stuff. But I started my business saying, okay, I can do recoveries. People drop stuff in the water, they can give me a call. I'll go get their keys, their phones, whatever they drop. So I built up doing that. I was doing live shows, giving away free tackle trays of lures. Really built up my TikTok to like 130,000 followers almost now.
Goodness.
And my other channels kind of following slowly after, but there's just so much stuff to do. And then environmentally, it's just crazy, like the difference you can make. But then every year it just gets built back up with the fishing line, the lures, with the trash that people throw in when they're fishing, or if they just lose phones off the catwalk or wherever they're at. It's just a repeat cycle, and it's you can make a living off it. So,
that's crazy. I mean, that's awesome. It really is. I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, how cool is it, that you've got that capability to do it. But more importantly, I really, kind of had it in my head. How much trash do you think you've pulled up on average?
Oh, a lot.
A lot. It's hard to think of. Like, we just had a dumpster come this year, filled it up, got out of here. Now I'm almost ready for another dumpster. I got so much
That's
stuff.
about 15, 20-yard dumpster.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Jesus.
That's a lot of trash.
It's like, it's hard for me. Like, after a dive, I'll load everything in my truck. Sometimes I'll call the municipality of a city or say, hey, I'm at the diver. I was diving here. Can you come pick all this trash up? And they do it now. And it's like, awesome.
That's cool.
We're working together. Mm-hmm. But I used to just bring everything home, cans, bottles, glass, and it just, everything was stacking up here in my backyard in the city here. So I feel sorry for my neighbors. But it's like, then when it gets hot out, then it stinks, zebra mussels rotting and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, not good.
Fish in there, but it's just like I'm trying to be more effective at get rid of it and not bringing it home, because it's hard to get rid of once I get it here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you find that the municipalities are obviously, you've got the connection with them and all of that? How hard was it to was that existent, or did you have to get your name out there before that ever kind of took place?
Kind of had to get my name out there. And once people started watching my videos and I would start announcing, hey, I'm going to this town to dive. And then they'd start showing up there during the dives, the park workers or the whatever city workers would show up, and they'd be watching to see what we pull out. Then after we're done, they'd be like, hey, call the backhoe over here. We're going to load that thing up and get rid of all this trash for them. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
From throwing it in vehicles, bicycles especially, they get so sharp and rusty, and when you're throwing them around, you cut yourself. And
it's hard to get 6 or 7 bikes in the back of a pickup truck that are all rusted.
Yeah.
Whoa, how many bikes?
It depends. Sometimes you can find 6 or 7, but on 4 or 5. But then there's tires and there's other random big things. Rims. Yeah.
We found
grills
up in what was that?
Aurora or Michigan. The safe. You can find all kinds of stuff.
Where you found the handcuffs.
Well, a Rhinelander.
Rhinelander.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of old. There was actually a automotive shop there, and we found a bunch of old rotors there from the brakes. They were thrown in the water there. We probably found about 15, 20 of them sitting in the river.
And the kayak was already loaded up full of stuff, so we couldn't throw those heavy metal in there.
We couldn't get the semi tire that was down there because the thing probably weighed about 400 pounds. Both of us tried, we couldn't move it.
Oh my God!
Wow!
You'd be amazed what you find down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. So, question I have: all those lures on the wall behind you, are those all ones that y'all found out of the rivers?
So I'd say about half of the musky lures are ones we found. I'm kind of a schmuck. I still buy lures for decoration. I buy ones off of Amazon, these big monster ones for decoration. But actually more than half of them are ones we found. And then we got a bunch more over there. We got probably a couple more thousand outside in our sail camper. We got thousands of jigs. We got thousands of bad lures, probably 10,000 bad ones down in the basement that we want to recycle, melt lead, and turn them into something else. So they're everywhere.
Sounds like they would be.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that you have family and all of that stuff. What do they think about that?
I've got a daughter. She'll be 18 in 2 months or 3 months, January. So it's like I raise my kids, and I can do me, and I don't know how long she plans to stay in here, but I'll still try to support her the best I can. But my house is now my business, my headquarters, and my living room has lures, all kinds of stuff. My dining room is my studio. This is my dining room, my office, kitchen, scrubbing bottles, scrubbing lures. I got my dive den here. I've got. This is going to be office space shortly, but it's full of Frisbee golf discs and hundreds of sunglasses. So
that's awesome.
Oh my God.
Then my basement is my painting area. I want to get into melting lead, but that'll be outside, not in the house.
AKA lead storage.
But now I graduate to a single bed in my basement and just close my bed. I'm good. Just to sleep because I'm working all the time.
That's key to success right there.
Yeah.
It really is. So, all right, Jay, is your house the same way? I mean,
No.
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 I keep it over here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. He wants us. He's like, "Oh, can I leave this here? Can I leave this here?" And I'm like, okay. But yeah, we got hundreds of antique bottles in here. I was scrubbing a couple today. Got a couple more bins of, antique bottles. Everybody wants to buy them, all these collectors, but I don't have time to manage them, figure out prices, ship them out. Like right now, we're just doing frisbee golf discs and fishing lures. But it's a huge market, though, antique bottles, and it just kind of boggles my mind. Like everybody wants something, you just don't have time to get it to them.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I didn't, until you said that, I guess I never realized there was a market for antique bottles, but
Oh yeah.
now, but if you think about it, I've walked into a couple of antique stores and you see the old school milk, the old school milk bottles and stuff like that. I get it now.
these also that have beer bottles from the early 1900s. We had local breweries that ain't open no more that were open back then. So it's people want that stuff.
Whiskey jugs, all kinds of stuff.
That's crazy.
That's
It's
pretty cool.
absolutely crazy.
You gotta get back in the water, man. Come up here and do a dive.
I won't say no. I won't say no. But it can't be in January. It's not.
Warm time.
I think August, September is a pretty good time. The water is still about 65, probably September. But now it's probably down like 48, 50.
Yeah. Yeah, a little chilly.
Yeah, cold. No, that's cold.
Yeah,
Don't lie. That's
cold.
I'd love to though. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But honestly, I like, I like Wisconsin. There's phenomenal fishing there, and I'm a big fisherman. I like to hunt. But I mean, fishing, if you told me, hey, you can either hunt or you can fish, but you can't do both, which one's it going to be? I'm going to go fishing. That's kind of my thing. And Benny's a little bit different. If you told him, hey, you're going to hunt or you fish, he's going to be hunting. I guarantee you. It's going after those ducks, but I'd be down for it. We'll work out those details for sure.
Or you can get all the lures. You can spear if you're underwater spearing. I don't do that, but you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how cold that must be. I mean, I'm still thinking like, when did we duck hunt 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And that water in that creek's probably 65 easy.
That's warm.
Oh yeah,
Man.
that water's warm compared to what y'all are walking in. I walked out there in sweatpants and a pair of waders, so I'm completely dry the entire time. I get like waist deep, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is cold. I don't know that I want to be in here anymore. I'm gonna get back to the blind kind of quick."
Yeah, you're pretty lucky to have that warm water. That's for sure.
So we were, I'm gonna ask the question here that, so you get out there, you start this business, and it's been hugely successful. And unfortunately, I'm not allowed to do TikTok because of who I work for, but or else, but I'm fortunate enough that you're on a social media platform that I can do, that I can watch, and you provide a lot of really cool insight, a lot of good, a lot of, just really neat stuff. But you find some amazing things. You talked about, there's a semi truck tire down there and anchors and stuff. But so what's the weirdest? What's the strangest thing you found?
Okay, well, we gotta.
Show and tell time.
All right. Well, so like Jason mentioned earlier, we got some these are nice hinge handcuffs. I've got a pair of these from my law enforcement training days, my degree in law enforcement. Hard drives. This is the fourth one I found. I returned 3 of them to a guy, and never told me what was on them really, but I got them back to him.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, right here, a Model 94 Winchester from 1941. wrapped in plastic and electrical tape. Still got the tag on it from the evidence tag here from the sheriff's department. Got her back. They couldn't find any crimes committed with it, so cool to get that back. Good trophy. BB gun handguns. They look like real, but they're not real. Drug paraphernalia with no drugs in it, of course. All kinds of stuff.
Triple X DVDs. Imagine that.
Oh Lord!
These are all bad DVDs that someone decided were polluting their minds and threw in the river. So
Wow! Yeah. Holy smokes! All right, Jason, what have you found? What's your weirdest thing that you found?
I've gotten a lot of different stuff. I don't think anything's really weird other than finding a lot of DVDs like Ed did. But
I can't imagine that. I really can't imagine.
No prosthetic legs or anything yet, huh?
No.
So
you're some creepy looking things. The last dive we did near Milwaukee or Madison, I saw it looked like a piece of cooked ham, and it was like nasty looking under the water. It was like gross. It was just floating there.
I don't know what that was. That was gross.
Oh no, I don't think you want to know either.
I don't want to know what the hell it was there, but it was nasty.
And then most recently, when we were doing this dive in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, at a water park, the local sheriff's department was there doing a dive before us, and there was a mannequin like tied up. I was not expecting it, and so I swam up on it and seen it, and right a female mannequin. I was like, "Oh!" Like, kind of surprised me. And then I started laughing and stuff when I seen it holding and stuff.
And that's the worst too, when you crack that big smile and the water just starts going in your mask.
Yep, but I got to edit the footage on that so it doesn't show too much, but it's still funny watching it and seeing it.
So obviously you get into this, and you find some of these amazing things, and you've ventured out into different areas of recovery, salvage recovery, and things like that. And then, you're making a good living off of it, but what was it that made you decide, hey, look, I can start filming this stuff, or I can start videoing this stuff? What was the drive there to really kind of set that on fire?
That was, I only had Facebook years back, and I would show all the lures on my back porch. I would clean them all up, or not clean them up. I would separate them and say, hey, I found this many of this kind, this many of this kind. And I didn't know all the names of lures. I was a basic fisherman using certain lures. So I was saying the name of some of the lures wrong. I didn't know there was Berkeley, Rapala. I didn't know there was all these different companies that are around here. So people started correcting me, and then someone said, hey, why don't you get a camera and show us what's underwater? So then I did. A couple $100 for a GoPro, and then the mount, and then so then I started learning how to edit videos, and it just blew up from there, and started more channels, posting longer videos on YouTube, shorter videos on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and then just started getting people contacted me from all over, companies, all these normal people, just guys like you and I, and it just blew up. And then people want you to advertise for them. They want you to wear their products, like this here tonight, one of them. And then
what is it? You got your gold chain in the way.
This is my gold chain. I got it from the Green Bay Packer game, Lambeau Field.
Oh, I was really hoping you found it underwater. Just the lure on it.
And then so I got Whisk Camel here. He's got a lot of cool stuff. I think it's sit camel or sitartcamo.com. But he sent me a bunch of shirts and stuff. I love wearing them. Hats, stickers, really cool design that he's got going on. I work with another camouflage company, Hide Camouflage, and line cutters. They make tools for cutting line really easy. You can have in your boat and when you're fishing, everything like that. But then there's so many I've said no to also, because I used to just do the product, get a free product. But now there's so many. I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's going to take me 5 hours to edit it or to do everything, 6 hours, and I got to upload it, and it costs you this much. Oh, we're not going to pay that. Like, well, I don't have time. So yeah, like, don't send me free stuff. It's not going to work out for you.
Yeah. Well, it's good to be in that position, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you kind of go down that same path, and you've got these folks, and you've got this social media platform, and you've developed it into what it is. And where do you go from here? What's the next step?
TV show. We got that in the works right now.
No way.
Yeah. So we already did a TV show. I did 2 episodes with a producer, Bill Shirk, out of Minnesota. He's got like 4 or 5 outdoor channels on a bunch of different networks. They came out here, did a show to do 1 episode, but it ended up turning into 2 episodes because they got so much going on here. And then right after that, you got a producer got a hold of me that I can't really say too much, but he wants to do a whole season. Hopefully it'll turn into multiple seasons. So they put a teaser together, some of my footage from YouTube, and they had a bunch of meetings. They're shooting out to different networks to see who pick us up. So that's in the process, and it's kind of hard waiting for so long, but it'll be worth the wait. We know some cool's coming up. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing right now.
That's cool. And Jay, you're cool with this, I guess, right? I mean, you don't say a whole lot.
No, I don't think. Along for the cool ride. So.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Like, cool to share something with a guy that has the same interests as me. He's kind of like my older brother. We're good buds and stuff, and we help each other a lot here. The business, clean up the waterways, doing all the lures, everything like that. And he's there to keep my head on straight too and hold me accountable. So that's good. Yeah,
that's your dive buddy. I mean,
yeah.
That dude's going to save your life. Hopefully he never has to, but if you did, know he's going to.
CPR someday. Mouth.
Yeah, it's funny because I've gotten to dive with so many different people and teach people and the whole aspect of it. And I tell people my best dive buddy on the planet is my wife. I mean, hands down. And it's really cool because when you dive with somebody, and maybe you have this, maybe you don't, I don't know, but if you have somebody with you and you just dive with them enough, that they're going to be top right, bottom left. They're going to be somewhere, exactly where they're going to be when you've done it enough. And you just kind of look, oh, okay, they're there, and you start to move and they're doing their thing. And you just, it's really, really neat. It's a good dance, it's the way I kind of call it. So.
Yeah, it is. But a lot of the stuff that we do, the low vis and the rivers, and the current, you can't be right there for your partner. So your dive buddy. So you just come up if you had an issue, something's failing.
We're generally within 25 to 30 feet of each other most of the time.
Yep.
But we just know that, hey, you can't just depend on them too much. You got to have your own escape plan. You got to have we have tools on us all the time: pliers, knives, scissors, backups. So we got the tools. We're not just going down there just being foolish or anything.
And I think that's important. That's the part that's really, really important, is that people understand if you're gonna go do this, go get the training. Go
down there.
Proper functioning gear.
Yes. Spend the money on good gear.
And you got later. That's not when cold water. If something happens, just starts free flowing because of the cold water, then you're gonna have issues. So you gotta have better gear to prevent that.
Yep, absolutely. So I guess that's kind of the big thing that we need to make sure that we're real clear is, obviously what you do is valuable. It's a really new, really cool resource that you go in and you recover the stuff that you recover. You clean up after yourself and and other people, but you do that because you've gotten certified. You've gotten the technical capabilities. You've got a lot of dives under your belt. You know how to do this stuff. And that's the important part. People need to reach out to a really good dive shop. Everybody's got one. I can tell you, Blue Water Scuba is my go-to, right? But so you got one too, right?
Yeah. M&M Diving in Menominee, Michigan. We're in Marinette, Wisconsin, right across the river is Menominee, Michigan. So it's only a 5-minute drive. And Bob Berg, my instructor, Bill Becker, another instructor. but they got me all certified and stuff, and told me a lot of stories. They like, hey, we had buddies that did this and this. They're dead. So like they kind of tell you, like you can't be foolish. You got to be smart. Don't be in a river when there's ice downriver. If something happens and you get pushed under the ice, you're not coming out alive. So I mean, they tell you real life stories, and they want you to be safe, go home every night.
Yeah. Jay, you went through the same group?
Yeah, I went to the same dive instructor. Yeah.
Good deal. And you're 16-year-old. Obviously, you all did that, and same instructor.
Same. And we basically did our dives in the local waters where we were. So we kind of knew where we were at and everything else. So it worked out pretty good.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Benny, you're sitting over there. You haven't talked much, and I've been doing a lot of talking. So what's going on,
so
man?
what is a certification like that? What is it? How many course hours is it? What are you doing? I'm assuming there's a practical portion of actually diving and some classroom work and stuff like that. What does it take to get certified?
The classroom is basically what you do is you have a book with DVD. You bring that home and you go through that. And there's going to be there's going to be a written test at the end, but you want to go through that, get yourself pre-knowledge before you go there. Then we do 2 closed water dives, which is in a pool. It's like your YMCA or whatever. You're in a pool. You go down there. You do different drills where you learn how to take the octopus from your partner and breathe off of theirs. You signal that you're out of air, so he comes over and swims next to you, and you come back to you do a bunch of drills like that, and then after that you do 4 open water dives where you're in a bigger area where you're just out in every
quarry or river,
a river or a local bay or whatever, and they take you down. And you try to do compass readings that try to bring you back to a certain point, and we're within about 1.5 feet of our compass readings when we went down.
That's awesome.
And after that, you take a written test and you pass it, and then they mail you your PADI certification card.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Is that how was it for you, Mike?
So I started when I was really, really young. There was a program that was offered through our YMCA. And it was NAUI at the time before PADI had kind of come around, and NAUI had sponsored stuff through YMCA, and so I took the class, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go do this, and it was a lot different because I think I was maybe 14 at the time,
Okay.
And there was so many different things. Diving's changed a lot since then. I'm a lot older than what I was. And so a lot of things change, but the laws don't, right? But I learned a lot, and I went through the class, and I did my open water. I did my closed waters in a pool, Olympic sized pool. Great time.
Yep.
Had 2, got hot, didn't you? And then, what's really funny is like my open water dives, most people go to a quarry or they do a beach dive or something like that. And our instructors they said, we're going to throw you right at it. And they took us to Panama City and to Pensacola Beach. And we were at Fort Pickens for my checkout dive. And if you've never dove Fort Pickens, there's a current right there on that jetty that is just wicked.
Yeah.
So it makes for a real interesting checkout dive, open water dive for sure. For a brand new diver, and our instructors were good enough that they knew that we were, and they had our backs. They were phenomenal folks, and we got out in this rough stuff, and as a 14-year-old kid, you just don't know any different. But you see some of these other grown-ups that are sitting here and they're looking around, they're like, this is not cool. I'm just too dumb to know any better. So, but once I got under the water, that was it. I was so hooked, and it I without a doubt, it changed my life. It changed every part of what where I was going to go to and how I was going to do things in my life. And it was amazing. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you got to figure out how to see more of it. So,
yep, that is exactly true. And I remember in Fort Pickens, I had my kids out there. We were cast netting offshore, but we were in the water, dipped down fast, but you could feel the waves coming in, the current pushing you, like sand was moving under your feet. And I got stung by a jellyfish in there. Didn't feel too good.
No.
Diving in there, we were looking, closer to the park there, where the military base, the older one. We were looking around all the rocks, finding crabs and all kinds of cool fish in there. And we've seen a couple scuba divers out there, and I was like, man, I got to do this someday. But never scuba dived out there yet, but I did free diving.
Yeah, you got to, man. It's so cool. It's so cool. So that, I guess that's my next question is the, obviously you're in the rivers, you're in, you're doing this recovery stuff, you're doing the, you're cleaning up, you've got all these really neat things that are going on. Where do you find, or do you find time to get in, just a regular, casual dive in? Do you get to go on vacation, go diving somewhere, or, what do what do you get to do?
I went to Jamaica about 4 years ago. I was going through a divorce, had to get the kids out of town. I went to Jamaica, and that was the furthest I've ever dove too. It's like I dove 100 feet, saw a shipwreck, 2 airplanes, got stung by another jellyfish.
Yeah, it's kind of a common occurrence.
But it was all cool and stuff. But I'm not a recreational diver. I like grabbing stuff. I'm a grabber, picker. It is cool when in low visibility between like nothing to like 5 feet when a big monster sturgeon bigger than you goes past your face. So, and they're not going to hurt you. They're bottom feeders. And you see snapping turtles, like close call. You go to reach for something, and all of a sudden you see this big snapping turtle head next to your hand, and you're like,
nope.
Yeah,
you can keep that one. What about you, Jay?
The element of surprise keeps your heart going and makes you feel alive.
Yeah, warms you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So does peeing in your suit. So
yeah, sometimes I do that, like 5 times a dive. This time of year when it's getting colder out, and you're really working your butt off, and you're trying to stay warm.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah,
let her go.
Yep. What are you gonna do? Come out of the water? I mean, it's too cold. It's not gonna happen.
I gotta share my suit with somebody famous soon. I might have peed in it a few times.
But Jay, do you get to do? Are you get to do the recreational diving at all, or still stuck on this?
I've just been in lakes and rivers around here. I haven't done anything. I want to. One of my bucket list things is go dive the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
Yeah, that's a good bucket list to have.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's a real good one.
Before it completely dies off.
Yeah, it's quickly happening. So, but now, so we've got all of this stuff. You all just, well, let me get back to something real quick. You kind of mentioned something, and you said you're going to share your dive suit with somebody famous here. Who are you going to share your dive suit with? Now the inquiring minds want to know.
Well, if he needs it, I'm thinking he said he has a dive suit, but I don't know if it'll be warm enough for where we're going. Been talking with Charlie Barons. He's a actor, comedian all across the Midwest here. Actually, he goes to Vegas. He's all over the U.S. And we've been in touch for the last couple of months. And after he saw one of my dives in the Fox River.
Uh-oh. What happened, Benny?
The timing.
I thought he shut that off.
Oh,
hold on a second. All right, you back there?
There you are.
There it is.
I turned this on, but for some reason the call was coming through.
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, I don't know how much of that you heard, but my ringtone's Holy Diver.
Oh,
but anyway,
perfect.
So we're gonna go do this dive, and it'll be fun. But actually that night that I'm going there, he's got to do a show, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. So I got to get down there, make sure he's safe, do our dive, make sure we find some cool stuff, and maybe he'll let me in the show for the night. I don't know, but here in case we get in the water, he's like, "Oh man, it's freezing." I'm like, "Well, you're wearing a 3 mil suit. You got to be wearing a 6 mil suit." So
yeah, I was like 3 mil. So
oh God, no, that's not okay. Look,
sure it is when you got in.
No,
but it's funny. Social media, I love Charlie Barron's. Been watching his shows, the Manitowoc Minute, the Cripes Cast. Like, he's just a really cool guy. He's just Midwest center, fun. He's got his own line of beer, which is pretty dang good. And I've been working on trying to get with him. No, that sounded bad. Get with him. Been working on collaboration with him, and meet him. And it's finally happening, so I'm pretty excited. And it's along with other popular influencers, Ryan Rubel from Meanwhile, Wisconsin, Coots Lures, and just other people that I meet along the way. Dead Crab from Florida.
that's cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
That's really cool.
You got to check out Dead Crab. He actually came and did a documentary on us, but still not done yet. But he's in Florida, and he does fishing, does all kinds of cool stuff down there.
Well, we'll certainly do that. You provide the intro. We'll gladly do it. So now, we were talking, you get into this, you kind of, this is your life. I mean, obviously, do you still fish? I mean,
I don't, dude, I got 20 fishing poles here. I find a lot of fishing rods and reels, but some I find the owners, some I just give to kids, and people donate stuff. We've got thousands of lures. If I have time to fish, I have time to dive and clean up. So that's kind of been my motto. If I have time to be in the water, I'm going to be in the water. And he used to fish.
I still do.
Oh, you still fish?
Yeah.
But he does trolling. He does all kinds of stuff. But I don't anymore.
That was the weird part. So I grew up obviously in the South, and trolling's not something that I was accustomed to. It wasn't until I got out to California and I was fishing with my grandfather out there, and they troll for trout, rainbows mostly. I had no idea what trolling was about. And then I went to Maine, and I didn't know what ice fishing was about either until I get there. The two of those are just really a good way to sit down and drink a lot of alcohol.
That's what happens. Yeah.
As long as you're not driving, you'll be okay. So, but you mentioned sturgeon. How, I mean, what's it like to see one of those kind of come by you?
It makes your heart skip a beat or two, but you just
it depends on if you see them before they get.
Yeah.
Suddenly just you look to the side of you and you see them, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like a log passing your face going upriver. And then when their tail hits you, it's about a tail like this big probably. And then if you go to grab their tail, then they just they're so strong, it'll just thump, and it's so loud underwater, that thump, that they'll get out of there really fast. And it's like, whoa, that's a lot of power.
Jesus.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
That's on my bucket list of fish to see.
Fish, pretty cool looking. They're kind of rough
Freshwater shark.
Yeah, they got freshwater shark. They don't have teeth. They just got
teeth.
Big sucker things in the bottom, like huge mouths that they're just sucking stuff up.
Yeah.
So they're freaking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, we've caught like a 5-6 footer, me and my son. And then you've grabbed a couple tails down there, and it's no matter how hard you try to hold on to their tail, it's one little thump like that, you can't hold on.
That's a bucket list fish for me. It's funny because I love to fish, like I said, and to catch one, great, it'd be cool. I just want to see one. I mean, that is the bucket list fish, to see one of those things kind of float by you, and you're like,
us.
I've up here to see when you go on the Menominee side of the river, and they got an observation deck where they fish off of, and you can see them swim right underneath the deck.
No way.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
fish
in.
go. Depends what time of year. But yeah, they're everywhere. Sometimes they're jumping 4 or 5 feet out of the water. You just hear a huge splash, and there's big sturgeon just flying up, jumping out of the water, and landing back down.
Benny, we're going.
That sounds insane.
We're going.
I'm here for it.
We're going.
I'm down.
So now, so one of the things I meant to ask, and we talked a little bit about beforehand, was one of the videos that I saw was a hardware store / local bait and tackle shop type thing. And I'm a big fan of local bait and tackle, right? A lot of them are, kind of dying off, and you've got a lot of big box stores that are really not. I mean, the point of the local bait and tackle shop is to go in and say, hey, where's a good place to fish? What should I use? How should I go fish this area? And unfortunately, it doesn't. I mean, you walk into a box store and nobody there has that information.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were at this. I caught it, and I thought it was the coolest place ever. And it was like this half hardware store, half local bait and tackle shop. Tell us about that place, because it was super cool.
So I had one of my followers. I feel bad I can't remember his name, but it was a Hank's Hardware in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, and our goal was to go down there and retrieve his magnet, because he does magnet fishing in his local boat launch, and he tries to get out bicycles and other snags so people don't get messed up on them. But one of his magnets got hooked up on something, and we got called to go in there and get his magnet. We ended up finding a wallet, which we got back to the owner right after the dive. We drove up the next town, got the wallet back to the kid. We found 4 or 5 bikes, pulled those out of there. And there was actually one more bicycle stuck under there. Right where the guy's magnet was stuck was a huge piece of old metal that must have came from some kind of shoring or something, but I couldn't budge it. I was like, I could move it, but there's another bicycle stuck under there. But we got a lot of trash out of there. A couple phones.
I think it was that water barrier, because they dredged out the boat launch, so they put a barrier around so they can drain the water and dredge it out. I think it was part of that wall left it down there that they didn't get out.
But it was a fun dive. We get the go in there, and actually during that dive, my dive flag broke, and I bought another one from his shop, and he gave me like half off and stuff, and it's pretty cool, pretty neat shop, and they fed us too. They gave us food for lunch, and really nice people.
Man, it's good to see that. It really is. I mean, and like I said, I don't get to watch a lot of stuff, but when I do, I kind of like enjoy it. When I do get a chance to, and I enjoy seeing stuff like that. I don't know, it just kind of makes you feel good that the local bait and tackle with a hardware store. I mean, that's a guy's shop when you walk in there, and it's just really cool. You don't have to, good people, right? So
really cool. Yeah, just people that you trust and that you're glad to help.
Yeah.
And I've actually got one of the local bait shops here, more than bait, outdoor gear, everything. They donated a $1,400 kayak to me to help me clean up the rivers, throw trash in and stuff, bicycles, tires, rims, all kinds of sandbags, whatever kind of trash that people are getting snagged on, I can throw in there. So we've been working together. Windrose North, Menominee, Michigan.
Yeah, that's the place.
So they're really cool working with them. But I can say on the other end, there's another local bait shop that doesn't want to be nice. They don't want to work with me. They're jealous or whatever, but I'm not going to say the name.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There's always going to be some haters, right?
Yeah, it happens.
All that means is you're doing something right.
Right?
Being an entrepreneur, that's what we
Yeah,
are.
it's competition, I guess. It's competition.
And it's not like we don't advertise for them and tell them, hey, if we don't have it, go here and get it. They have it in stock.
Yeah, we do that. Whenever we're selling, if we run out of stuff, which we do, we say, hey, you can go to this shop over here, Marinette. You can go to this one over here, Menominee. Yeah, you can go to Walmart.
We've had their business cards and handed them out to people too.
Yeah.
Say, here, go here and shop for some.
So it's we try to do that, but then when you hear about rumors, You hear rumors coming out of certain places, and it's like, come on. It's like I get accused of putting snags out in the water. I'm like, you can see in my videos, I'm cutting sandbags apart to get them out of the river so they're not snags. We're pulling bicycles out. We're pulling rims out, tires, all this kind of stuff. It's like,
who on earth would think that you're intentionally putting snags out? Really?
Somebody that's jealous that wants to do what we do, but are too afraid to do it.
yeah.
My goodness. Well,
But-
you know, haters are going to hate, right?
Haters gonna hate.
That's like, don't worry about the haters' comments because you got so many positive ones. They just pummel them right in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't have to say a thing about it.
Don't read the comments. Just don't read the comments.
I like that's one of the things I love to do is stay engaged with my audience. But it's so hard. Like I was spending 6 to 8 hours a day just trying to engage on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, keep engaged. And then now it's like I can't even do that anymore. And I feel bad, but it's like I got so much other work to do with marketing, advertising, merchandise, cleaning lures, cleaning bottles, diving, traveling. There's so much stuff to do. But it's like I'm trying to stay focused to engaging with my audience.
That's cool. I mean, like I said, we sent you something and you replied to us and I thought that was cool. So, you know, hats off to you, man. It's a tough job. You know, I get it being busy. You know, you got real life and then you got everything else behind it. So, you know, it's good to be able to talk. You know, me and Benny, when we first kind of started talking about this and doing the podcast, it was like, you know, we want to just talk to good people. That was it. You know, we just want to have a good time and talk to really cool people. And this is one of those times we got to talk to some really cool people. So,
thank you.
Yeah. So how do you, obviously you sell your tackle, you sell the lures, you sell the stuff, you give away, you give back to the community, you're cleaning up all this stuff, but how do people say, I want to get, I want a Rapala, whatever. How do I go about doing that from y'all?
So we don't have every single lure in our stock on our website because we do local sales and it's just hard to manage the inventory between local and online. I do have a lot of basic stuff on there, rip and wraps, some stick baits like HJ12 shallows, deeps, HJ10 shallow deeps, blade baits. EdTheDiver.com is my website, EdTheDiver.com. We also have a Frisbee golf disc on there. That's a new thing for this year. We found was it 180 or 280? 280 Frisbee golf disc, and some of them range like $10 to $50 a piece.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So it's like that was in 1 hour or 45 minutes. We found that many. So
and we didn't get them all because once you stirred the bottom up, you couldn't see.
Yeah.
You'd be grabbing in the mud, and you'd have a stack of 5 or 6 of them Frisbee discs in your hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whole new market that opened up this year. So next year, I'm going to be looking into going to more places to get those. But then a lot of people have their names written on them, phone numbers, and you try to get them back to them, give them a chance.
That's cool. See, that's a cool thing. You're not just taking them for the sake of taking them, right?
We try to get a lot of stuff that we find, try to get it back to their owners, like the Apple Watches, the iPhones, and all that stuff.
Yep. So so these are some glasses. These are prescription glasses. We posted a whole thing, but these are like a couple $100 glasses. Got to get it back to the owner. iPhone, another iPhone. Returned like 5 Apple Watches this week. So,
how do you go about doing that? How do you find the people?
Okay, so SIM cards and if you can't get the phone working again after you dry it out with desiccants and stuff like that, then you go to the SIM card, plug it in. Like I have a burner phone that I found somebody donated to my channel. Put it in there, you find out the phone number, you call the phone number, or you look it up on cyber background check to get a name and an address. Like I have a degree in law enforcement, so I learned all this investigative stuff when I was in law enforcement training. But it's a lot of investigation work, detective work, and that's kind of how it works. And then also with the Apple Watches, when you go to shut them down, sometimes it'll say medical ID. You can swipe that over, and it'll say their name, age, weight, and then emergency contact, mom, dad, spouse. Then you find them like that too.
That's freaking cool.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
That's really cool.
I've been hung up on a few times, and I'll call somebody and say, "Hey, my name's Ed the Diver, and I found your blue or your black cell phone, iPhone, and the such and such." No way! They hang up on me. Trying to help you.
That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
All right, Benny, I've talked a lot. I feel bad. I haven't given you an opportunity to talk at all. So
you're all good, man. After my week at work, I'm
rough
zero
week,
brain
huh?
power, dude. I'm gonna be half asleep in the blind tomorrow morning, but
No, you're not.
you're bringing cinnamon rolls, so it'll be fun.
Yep.
Isn't the blind in your boat?
No, we gotta take the boat out, and then we build some blinds out in the marsh. So we've got 6 or 7 different blinds that we could get in the mooring.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So we'll drive out there. Mikey's got a fresh batch of cinnamon rolls at home right now that he's making for us tomorrow morning, and
made from scratch.
Oh, they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make some pretty killer cinnamon rolls. So,
Awesome.
We talked about your website. How do people find you? What's your social medias?
So social media, I'm on TikTok's the biggest channel, Ed the Diver. Any channel, if you just type in Ed the Diver, you're gonna find me. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm even on Twitter, but only have like 185 followers on there. Twitter. But everything else, I think I've got over from YouTube almost 7,000. Then I have up to 130,000 on TikTok.
Man, that's crazy. Did you ever think that would happen?
They're growing.
All right, Jay, what about you? How do people get a hold of you?
Through Ed.
I love it.
Yeah, like you said, like he works on the weekends, and it's just good to have him here. Like he doesn't have to worry about all that stress. I do.
Yeah, for sure.
I do a lot of the cleaning and rehooking of the lures for him. It's helping out and doing all the stuff that he can while he's editing videos. I'm over here scrubbing stuff and doing whatever I can to help out. So,
and he's over here reminding me whenever I'm like trying to edit a clip and the same voice is going over and over, and then he starts doing it, and then I'm like, no, quiet.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Make it difficult.
What was that one last year you were doing? Crankbaits.
Crankbait.
Yeah, just crankbaits over and over again. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff where you're pulling off the fishing line, and I'm like, I do not have the patience for something like that. There is no way I'd look at that and I'm like, nope, I will hire that out.
Well, it's one of the things that kind of makes you sit still and makes you focus on one thing, so your mind's not just going everywhere else. And like the phone definitely, it really gets me going. Like I try to concentrate on one thing that I'm doing 40 things the next thing. But with like lures or with diving, it's like you got to do the one thing because you don't want to get hurt, you don't want to get poked, or get a hook to your finger or hand. You got to concentrate on it.
When's the last time you had your tetanus shots updated?
2 years ago.
They're pretty much date.
Yeah. that was when I was pulling a rusty bike out with needle like spokes on a tire, and I cut my finger, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get a tetanus shot now.
Yeah, probably best that you do
tetanus
that.
Is good for what, 5 years, something like that.
Something like that. Probably 10 for me, hopefully.
Typically 8 to 10 years.
Oh man. All right, Benny, where are we at on time?
We're just a little bit over. But
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Right on the mark.
Hey, not bad for being off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, pretty good. Good show.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I cannot thank you enough for number one for what you do, how you do it. The cleanup is important. I grew up in a really small town that you're in the river, you're in the creeks, you're whatever, and I've seen people step on glass, and and that's the worst. And I mean, so just from that perspective, obviously it goes a lot further than that, having clean waterways and you know, having a good place to fish, and, you know, all of that stuff is really, really awesome. So thank you both so very much, even though you're nuts for doing it in cold water. But thanks for what y'all do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it is, you know, it's so important. And it's unique that you took the time to do it, and you found something that you could do, and that you're so dedicated to it. It's just so important. And so we appreciate that. But more importantly, I'm so glad that y'all came on, and I got an opportunity to talk to both of you. This made, you know, this made my week. This made, you know, this made me feel good after a couple of, you know, rough goes of it, man. I was looking forward to this.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, y'all keep doing what you do. And if we can help you in any way, in any facet, please reach out. We'd love to, you know, work with you again, and, you know, help you in any way, because this is important. This is super important.
We just need you to come up here to dive with us, and then I might keep you here for a little while.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. August, like when's it like really hot there? August, you said?
Never.
Yeah, but then the water's turned all green in some spots, but they're pretty good here.
I'll come when it's hot.
All right. Thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate it. Great show. Hopefully have continued success with it, and get famous on here someday.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, Benny, you got anything? Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Famous right here. So
What was that? I missed it.
you might have a prequel to somebody that's famous. When we get famous, then you say, "Hey, I had these guys on my podcast."
I knew this guy when.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are awesome, man. Thanks so much. This has been, I'm smiling from ear to ear. It's been a good conversation. So, man, it's too cool. Benny, what you got, sir?
That's about all I got, guys. Yeah, thank you for your time. It's super important what you guys are doing, and we appreciate you taking some time out of that to talk with us and share that message on a different platform from what you guys normally do. And keep having each other's backs, and stay safe in the water, and keep doing what you're doing.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you both tonight.
Yep.
You too, guys. Appreciate it. See ya.
Thanks. See you.
You've been listening to The Hunting Quest. No matter how crazy, high-tech, or lazy the rest of the country gets, we will always be hunting and fishing. If that's you, you've found your new family. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. Reach out to us by email at info@thehuntingquest.com. And check us out on Instagram and YouTube at The Hunting Quest. See you next time.